Hello, my name is Stephen Grothe, and for this demonstration speech, I'd like to show you the proper way to solder copper pipe. This process is also known as sweating. In my audience today, I have my brother-in-law John, my mother Joanne, and my nephew, who likes to ride car hoods, Anthony, and filming is my sister Dawn. About 10 years ago, we bought a house up there in Woodbine, Iowa, and the plumbing needed a little bit of updating. A friend of mine who had owned a construction company for about 20 years offered to help me do some of the basics that needed to be done. During this process, he was teaching me how to actually sweat the pipes. Since he had taught me how to sweat pipes, I built a bathroom from scratch in the second floor of our house, which included running over 50 foot of pipe from the basement through the main floor into the second floor, 50 foot of hot, 50 foot of cold, plus sewer lines. I built a bathroom with a Whirlpool bathtub, shower, toilet, and a sink. I've also helped my sister and brother-in-law with a little bit of plumbing in their house. And when we were remodeling our mother's bathroom, which my sister and brother-in-law did most of it, I did help with some of the plumbing though. So, to begin with, I've decided to use a 3/4 inch pipe. First thing you would want to do typically is measure how long you need. Now if you need 11 inches there, you always got to remember you need another 3/4 inch to go inside of the fitting. So you'd be 11 3/4 inches this way, plus another 3/4 inches that way. I'm not going to actually cut this pipe. For demonstration purposes, I don't have an exact measurement needed. First thing you've got to do when you cut is always use a tubing cutter though. You don't want to use a hacksaw because that will give you an uneven cut, and a lot of times it can oblong your pipe end, and then you have a lot of problems getting the fitting on. Once it's cut, most of your tubing cutters will have a deburring tool on it. You want to go ahead and kind of clean the end up and run it around the inside to get any metal burrs off of there. You don't want them getting in your drinking water. They say iron's good. I don't know about copper. Next thing you want to do is use a handy tool like this. Now this will clean up the end of the pipe, which will allow for the solder to adhere to something clean. Now you use the other end here and clean inside your fitting. You always want to have nice clean copper. Next thing you need to do is to put the flux on there. The flux is what's going to pull the solder into the joint. So, and don't be stingy with it. That's not going to do anything for you but cause you problems. So, once you've got those both done, go ahead and put them together. Always remember safety, so you want to put gloves on because you're working with heat, and pipes do allow the heat to travel. So, next thing you want to do is get a good length of solder out, because it's kind of hard to be unwrapping solder as you're holding the torch and holding the pipe. Now, As we heat this, notice I'm holding it at about a 30-35 degree angle. You don't want to hold it up too high because the flux will start to melt and it'll drip. Same with the solder. And you don't want it down low because, see, the solder can actually fall into the lower part, and when you want to add another pipe into the other side of that fitting, you're not going to be able to. So you let her heat up good. And this could take 30 seconds, minute. It's not too bad. Now, I don't know if you can see, but the flux is sucking the solder right into the joint. The flux will suck the solder into the joint. When you're done, you want to hold it at that same angle for a little bit to let that solder cool in the joint. It doesn't take too long, 30 seconds or so. Now keep in mind, if you're doing water pipes or even air pipes in your garage or something, most of your plumbing is going to be next to wood. So you want to be very careful doing that so you don't burn the house down. A brother of mine had taught me to take an old license plate and jam it in behind wherever you're soldering to help deflect the wood. I've also, at times, I have spritzed the wood behind there before I start soldering. Well, that is the end of my presentation. I hope you learned something today. I hope you enjoyed watching me. Again, this is my brother-in-law, John, my mother, my nephew, Anthony, and my sister doing the filming. I hope you enjoyed the speech. Thank you very much for watching.
Should we clap?
No. You can shut it off though.
Perhaps you should show the tools that you actually used.
I did it, I just opened them up, so.